his eyes. Kicker unmasked, live it loud. Break the silence, join the crowd. Rock the planet, feel the fire. Shake the world, lift it higher. Whoa! Wires twist like veins of steel. Born to crush, born to feel. Lightning runs through every chord. Power surge, the final word. Shatter chains with sonic waves. Carve the air like razor blades. No escape, no retreat. Victory tastes so sweet. Kicker unmasked, live it loud. Break the silence, join the crowd. Rock the planet, feel the fire. Shake the world, lift it higher. Hey, yeah.
Hey guys, it is Tuesday night, and if you're tuning in, you already know that's another episode of Unmasked right here from the Stillwater headquarters, right here, Stillwater headquarters, the Kicker headquarters. I like to screw those things up. The Kicker headquarters right here in Stillwater, Oklahoma, where we do all things audio. Have a lot of fun, try to learn a few things. I got my usual crew of special people helping me out, not special ed, but special people. Got Steven behind the camera back here. I've got Ernie back behind me back here running one of the consoles, JW as always, and of course, Colin's going to be answering your questions, so appreciate those guys back there making me look good. Well, not that they can make me look really good, because it is me. But we've also got a couple special guests tonight, and last week, or not last week, but the last show, we talked a lot about DSP. We still got more to do, but we're going to go a little different direction tonight. We're going to take a break from the technical stuff. We're going to do a dealer spotlight. We got two of our absolutely fantastic dealers that are standing by in the wings live via remote. Is that possible? Live via remote? Yeah, I think that's the way that works. Anyway, they're going to be talking to us, telling us about some of their special builds they've done. So we're going to take a quick break. You guys come back and see us here in just a minute, and we'll bring on our first guest.
For more than 50 years, Kicker has been rocking the planet on anything that moves. Kicker, the legacy continues.
Guys, we are ready to go. And don't forget, if you guys are new to the show, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to make sure that we can keep doing this. We do this free of charge for all you guys and give you absolutely invaluable information. So like and subscribe, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, wake the kids, all that kind of good stuff. And also, we'd love to give stuff away. So if you guys haven't registered already for the giveaway, we do a giveaway every show that we do. The third place winner is going to get the TW1s, the koozies, and the Unmasked t-shirt. The second place winner is going to get the TW2s. Now, the 2s have the silicone earbud little caps that really help them seal into your ears. And, of course, the first place winner is going to get that BF100, that little waterproof Bluetooth speaker. You know, thanks, Texas Roadhouse. You got me so full I can't even talk tonight. Yep, it is Texas Roadhouse again, as it has been the last at least 4 episodes that I've been here. So, hey, that's always a good thing. We always like a little bit of good Roadhouse. So, I think it's time to get right into our dealer spotlight. So first up tonight, we're going to bring on Andy Snap from Overkill Customs. Andy, welcome to the show.
How you doing, John?
I'm doing great. Probably not as good as you, but I am doing great.
I'm a little tired. Just got back from Mobile Solutions.
Nice. How's Brian doing?
Doing great. We had a great class.
Well, fantastic. Well, I'm sitting here surrounded by some of my loud, obnoxious friends, so, the woofers and the amplifiers. So, but you have taken this to a whole different level. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do and where you're located.
So we are located Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and we build everything from normal. Most of our stuff is just normal stuff, but sometimes get a little crazy and build stuff that's way bigger than it really should be.
Hey, that's what we do best. It's called living loud, right?
Exactly. We kind of embraced the Kicker motto and just kind of went on with it.
Yeah, the way I see it, if you're going to make a scene, be seen and be heard, and anything worth doing is worth overdoing. I think you definitely live by that motto.
Yeah, anything worth doing is worth overkilling.
Yep, absolutely. Overkilling. I like that. That was actually better than overdoing. It's a nice little plug there. We've got a bunch of your work up here, but before we get to that, and by the way, I'm going to warn you ahead of time, I've got a whole bunch of other stuff other than what you sent me because I wanted to diversify a little bit. So we're not only going to talk about that special project, but I stole a bunch of pictures off your sites. So I just stuff I thought was pretty cool, and some of it's really cool. So we definitely want to make sure we showcase a lot of that stuff. But on a personal note, what got you into this business, and how long has it been since you started doing audio?
I got into the business in officially 2003, working at a car audio shop. I think I got into it because audio was cool, but I was a kid, so I had no money. So I had to learn how to do it myself. And I went to school for auto body and I hated it, but I had a part-time job at audio and I just can't get out.
Yeah, I understand. I tried once and it didn't work. And yeah, I mean, I was the same way. I started doing audio back in high school and actually before high school, just playing around with stuff. And, you don't always have a lot of money to start, but just keep building on that, that knowledge and keep building the gear up. I mean, not everybody can afford to throw down, 50, 60, 100 grand on a system all at once, but you can sure build it piece by piece and pretty effectively.
Yeah, definitely.
So awesome. So I appreciate you being on the show tonight and specializing in what you guys do and showcasing all your work. So we're going to, like I say, these pictures are going to come in no particular order. Okay. So we're going to pop up, but the very first picture I'm going to have Ernie put up on the screen is actually something that's kind of after my heart, something that I always love, and that's the wagon. I've always been a wagon fan. I had a BMW 540 for a while, but that is reminiscent of the original Kicker wagons that had four, Shamu, Moby, and I always forget the third one's name. Actually, I'm fortunate enough to ride in all three of them with our reps because they owned them. But yeah, those things had 4 18s and an isobaric bandpass enclosure. They were pretty cool.
I would have loved seeing those in person. I know someone's rebuilding one right now.
Yeah, I keep hearing hints that someone is actually redoing it. So, but the one you have is absolutely cool, and I don't know if you guys can see very well by that picture. See if I can zoom in. I love the color scheme. Now, not only do you have to have the audio, but it's got to look good on the outside. It's got to look. Of course, this thing's pretty much all murdered out. I absolutely love it. Almost no chrome, but I love the gray wood grain.
Yep. So it's all satin black wood or satin black paint with gunmetal wood that my local graphic guy did. Then we did the wheels satin black and gloss black. So just kept it murdered. Just a murdered family.
And actually lowered. Here's a nice view of the back end of it. Got your logo on the back, but that thing just looks sleek and cool. And I know I got some pictures of the inside of it, but like I say, these are going to come up in no particular order. That's just what happens when you pull them off different locations and from emails to Facebook to Instagram to. But
There's a
let's start in right off the ball. What do we got here? What is this?
So that's the front door panel of the wagon. So there's four.
Okay, it is the wagon.
Yep. Yep, that's the second rendition of the wagon black. It used to be gold, now it's black. So this is the second rendition with the 4 ST7s and then 4 ST1.5 tweets. Man,
I bet that thing sounds good. I love the way you did that armrest.
Thank you. So I went to Mobile Solutions last year. Plug again. I went back there.
We don't mind. Brian's a good guy.
Oh yeah. So I built the amp rack, and it just that little arch that I put over the amp rack, which you'll probably have it there too. It just came in a theme with it. Just everything kept going with it. The console's the same thing too.
Well, that's one of the things I always stress with people in their installs is pick a theme and go with it throughout the entire vehicle. It doesn't make sense to do the trunk entirely different from the rest of the vehicle, so try to tie it together. And
Continuity.
And and it's all those simple little things that really make it, the jaw-dropping build that it is. Also, it's the tongue-twisting job that it really is. But what a cool picture. I love the way you hid the LEDs on the back side of that, but I bet that thing sounds killer. And hopefully one of these days I'll actually get to hear these vehicles run into at a show or an event sometime.
I'm sure Slamology, whenever it comes back around.
Yeah, we got to get him back on that. Now, the next picture we're going to pull up, obviously, this has got to be the inside of the wagon.
Correct. Yep, that's the inside of the wagon.
And what do we have here? We've got 10, are they 10s?
Yep, 1010. 10 Solo X10s tuned at 32 hertz, I believe.
Nice and low. What type of airspace, just out of curiosity, do you remember?
Oh my gosh. I built that a year and a half ago. Gosh, I forgot what your tech guy gave me some number. I'm thinking they have like 2.5 cubic each.
That's
but just a standard
size.
vented enclosure.
Yeah, and by being a larger enclosure, that does help tune them that much lower. But I guess the big question is it loud?
There's some videos on my TikTok that you've got some hair floating, and we were at the Access Power Show, not this weekend, the weekend before last, and we got some videos from that too.
Well, I saw several of those videos online, and it's like, God, I hope I can find with just still pictures because, we're definitely seeing all these videos, and it's hard to bring a video up onto the show live.
I get that. I actually need to take some regular pictures. I got caught up in the moment when we started floating hair, and I probably lost like half an hour worth of pictures.
Well, I guarantee that's one thing you will never be able to do with me is float my hair.
Well, maybe doing Just for Men.
Yeah, a little Grecian formula, something like that. So,
right?
Too cool. But yeah, what a great install. Nice and clean and simple, but definitely to the point. Definitely something to
That's my word.
Violent. Yeah, that is, you don't listen to something like this. You experience it for the better or for the worse. So
it's a good word.
Yeah. All right. Here's another one of your great installs. And this is, like I say, a little unique, and I absolutely love it. I love different and cool things, using your imagination. So what do we have here?
So this is in the back of a 2015 Cadillac Escalade ESV, and there's 4 15-inch Solo X's. This client actually just came back in to upgrade to 4 Warhorse amplifiers, because right now they're currently running on, they're 4 1800 CXAs. And he wanted a little more. The back wall have 4 7s and then 2 of the ST tweeters as well.
Yep, the horns in the center. So out of curiosity, just because I'm old school, are those old school Orions? I can't really tell by the picture. Are they
no, they're new.
More modern.
They look old.
So yeah, I was actually a big dealer on those, but that 225 HCCA, that red one, I can't tell you. I probably sold a couple hundred of those things.
Yeah. Eric, to answer your question, how big the port is, because I'm not in front of it right now, I can't tell you for sure. That's literally 4 times the port that's on the KICKER website. If you look enough, you can find pictures of me inside of that box.
That's funny. And hey, and by the way, Andy, thanks for watching for the questions up there. I'm so busy looking at this picture, I keep forgetting to look up at my monitor. So if you see anything, just jump right out. And I'm sure, Ashley and Bobby are going to jump right in and give you some guff over some of this too. So it's nice to have these guys tuning in as always. And oh, by the way, Midnight Munchies, you don't have the best seat in the house. I do, but you got the second best seat, I'm going to guess. So yes, we do read some of those comments and do watch. So guys, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for all your feedback as always.
And Ashley, the STs are not canceled out by the Solos. They actually pierce right through the sound really well.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And of course, if anybody that's never been around one of the really, really loud vehicles, you might think the systems are distorted when they turn them up, but that's just the subwoofers have so much pressure disrupting the waveforms, the high frequencies. They sound distorted just because you're in that pressure zone, but some of them truly are, but not all of them. So yeah, it's crazy. Some of these vehicles, what you guys do anymore is absolutely amazing. I never would have guessed that we'd be pushing, upper 180s in SPL. I mean, I thought when we hit 150, that was going to be the end of it. But, you guys never cease to amaze me in your creativity. Something else I really like about this enclosure that you have is the way you've got the wires run, up through the box and up to the amplifiers. It's just cool little things like that. So it's just not, flat and boring and blah. And I imagine it's not passive and quiet either.
No, like I have a tendency to shoot myself in the foot. I'm like, this is kind of cool. And then I go, oh, but this would be cooler. And then I'm here till 4 a.m.
Yeah, I know that well. All right, moving right along. We're not in the Solo X family, but good grief. I really don't like these trackpads on these laptops because they do tend to do things without me doing them. But one of the things that really caught my eye in this one, obviously we like the logo in the center, but I love the surfboard theme kind of in the center there for the armrest.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. That was the wagon before I rebuilt it. So that's got the L7R10s.
Yep, it's got the R's. I see the red stitching.
Yep, and those are the low profile 6.5.
Yep. And we've built a couple vehicles with mid bass down the center console. It's kind of a neat effect. Actually done sub bass in the center console too. But really, really cool builds, and like I say, just unique and interesting. And that's what I'd like to showcase. They're things that are just different that you're not going to run across every day, and it gives a lot of the guys out there ideas. I mean, that's it's not copying.
I'll watch a lot of these videos online, just like especially if I watch European videos, they do stuff way different, and they'll give me inspiration.
I agree. Well, Ashy's got something you just popped up here with. Yes, I caught that, Ashy. It looks awesome. Right up my alley. Just meat and potatoes. No flash. Yep. Well, I think we got a little bit more flash coming up on this picture. That was. So, is this the back of the wagon?
Yes, that is the back of the current wagon. Yeah.
All right. So, tell me what we got back here.
All right. So, front to back, like I said, back of the truck, the front. Anyways, there are 4 of the 8-inch MSC8s, the premium Marines on the back row. Yep. So I like the way those lights work. So I also recessed them into a piece of acrylic so that you see the light shine around it.
Yes.
You can't really see it, but it kind of looks like a reflection pool. That's where all the excess power batteries are. They're like 8 lithium batteries, bus bars and whatnot. And that arc right there is what I was talking about that became the whole theme of this build. There are 2 sound processors, I believe a KPX 300 by 4, and then there's 8 Warhorse amplifiers.
Nice. Now that's interesting. You have the KPX. What was your reasoning behind choosing those? Not that I'm complaining. I absolutely love those amps.
Space and power requirements. The KPX, I've got two pairs of SQ. Your SQ tweeters on the A pillars, and then 2 pairs of ST 1 inches on the rear doors. And it didn't make sense to add another Warhorse to power tweeters.
So why not? You are overkill, right?
Right. I thought the KPX was plenty overpowered.
Yeah, it is. They're great amplifiers. And along with that, the PXA, for those of you guys that are wondering, they're also another small amplifier in line. They're more of a power sports. But if you guys didn't know, on those PXA amplifiers, we've got DSP software we released with those. So now they have full equalization, full crossover control. So if you've got a PXA amplifier you bought at any time, it always had the capability built in, but now we sell the little dongle so you can access it. Just buy the dongle, and the software is free, obviously. So very cool. So you don't always have to have big amplifiers to have big power and get big results. So just so you guys remember that. There's a lot of really good, space economical amps out there. But I really like the way you did that.
Amps. I use those.
Especially.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, especially with the new Premium Marine, what do you think of those speakers? I mean, those have not been out for very long.
I love those. I was actually waiting for those to put those, because when we visited your facility and you guys let us demo them ahead of time, I fell in love. I'm like, the KMXLs are nice, but those just have a very beautiful sound.
Yeah, they do. 28 millimeter silk dome tweeter. Yeah, they're just killer. And I'm starting to see these in boats a lot now, and I get to listen to some of these when I go out on the weekends. And man, those things are killer. All righty, we're going to keep trucking down the line of pictures. We got a few to go through here because, like I say, really want to showcase what you're doing here. This is probably another picture of that, probably a little better where you can see the batteries down at the bottom.
Yep. Yeah, there are 8 lithium batteries down there, and the bus bars are made of solid copper, 4 inches wide, a quarter-inch thick, and then that gets to be really pain in the butt to machine. But nothing works better than copper. So other than silver.
I agree. You know, way back we did a couple vehicles that I always used to do like 1x1 copper bus bars, and just it's kind of funny. You can machine it with regular, you know, woodworking tools and routers. It just takes longer.
Slow.
It's like aluminum, but even harder. Yeah, just got to make sure you have good lubrication. But yes, guys, you can work with copper with just basically woodworking tools. Just remember, it's going to get warm, especially if you're using routers. So keep those bits cool, and they'll last a long time and give you a much better result. So. All right, I think that's another picture of the wagon. I think that's a repeat.
Yep.
We're not starting
Just
over
loaded.
again. I think that's what we're going to. So let's get on to the big bad girl here.
Yeah.
What do we got? What are we looking at? What is this
So
thing?
I've nicknamed this Large Marge from from Pee Wee Herman, because Big Bertha, everyone always says Big Bertha. So I'm like, okay, it's Large Marge. So this is a 96 F800. It's a former SWAT truck from LAPD.
How the hell did you get a hold of that?
eBay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, I have a tendency to maybe drink too many fizzy drinks and then start shopping, and I just think I'm not on Marketplace anymore. Oh, eBay, crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is cool. Obviously, it's got one hell of a system in it, but while I'm looking at this picture, a question just popped into my mind. Have you put this thing on a scale?
No, I'm waiting till it's done because I want to know what's going to weigh when it's done.
Okay.
The curb weight is pretty much 14,000 pounds.
That's curb weight.
Curb. Yeah, that's curb. It's empty. No driver.
Wow.
The GVRW is 26,000 pounds. So I'll be under that.
Well, I bet it's got some good horsepower under the hood to get it going, too. It's going to
No.
need it with all that weight.
Now it's 175 horsepower.
What?
Yeah.
What's wrong with SWAT these days? Don't they want to get there?
It's eventually. We're just eventually going to get there. It will eventually solve the problem.
Yeah, or maybe the problem will be gone by the time we get there. All right. Well, let's see what else we got here. Here's actually the two side-by-side. Where's this event at? It looks absolutely beautiful out there.
Yeah,
It's got to be in Tennessee, isn't it?
Yes, it's in Tennessee. It's at it was a raceway outside of Knoxville. This was the XS Power Show.
And this was recent?
Yes, that was a week and a half ago. Yeah, 2 weekends ago. The wagon was giving demos. Everyone wanted to come up and hear the truck. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's not ready.
Oh,
I
really?
want it to be, but I just can't.
Yep. We did that with the Bronco as well. We got it, all look, for show, but just didn't have the go quite ready. And you don't want to, let people listen to it till it's right. You don't want to give them a bad first impression. It's always better to just hold them off a little bit. It's like you'll hear it when it's ready. So
Right.
hopefully I'll get to hear it as well.
Yes, that's like on those, like on the truck. I could have probably, like I said earlier, I could have done it, and I could have probably had it playing. But there were just little things like, hey, I bet if we add this in, it would be cool.
Yeah.
I know you get some pictures later, but if you notice the amp racks on the side, if you zoom in on the truck. All right, so there are 10 Warhorse amplifiers on each side going up. And then I'm not an engineer, but we were afraid that the pieces of acrylic between them would not hold the stress after vibration. So we put a piece of all thread through it, the bolt to the ceiling. Mm-hmm. But all thread's ugly.
Spacers.
Yeah, so we thought it was ugly. So like, hey, let's 3D print shotgun shells and put them on every one of them. Now, it was a pain in the butt to do, but I think it looks cool.
Oh, I think it looks really cool. I can't believe you 3D printed those. I mean, this is... That's some creativity right there, because I probably would have been the guy that just went out and got a bunch of shotgun shells and tried to make it work.
Yeah, I think this was actually easier.
Yeah, it probably is much more stable, because we all know that those shotgun shells, that soft plastic outer shell, is not going to support as much weight as those amplifiers have.
Plus the
especially
hole's
10
dead
of them.
center.
Yeah, well, that's got the primer.
No, exactly, for sure. And then that would be really bad with a live shell.
Yeah.
Yep, there's a 3D printed MP5 right there.
Okay, so that's 3D printed too. That's
Yeah,
great.
all this stuff is I went off the deep end.
That's what
I've
makes
got
it fun.
those. Oh yeah, I've got shotguns. I've got a 50 cal Barrett I've printed, and I just printed a RPG. I don't know why, but I got them.
Now, just not that it's part of this discussion, but do you like design those from scratch, or do you like scan them? Or I'm kind of curious how all that works.
I actually, some other people play stuff online. They've spent way more time than I do, and they've designed them. I just throw them a couple dollars and move forward.
Hey, I'm with you there. Here's another view of the amp rack on the inside of this thing. Probably.
Yep, closer.
And tell us what we've got right here for those guys out there that are unfamiliar with signal routing.
Yeah, so that's an RCA distribution block, made by Scott Bowman. Gosh, I remember Bowman. I think they always call it cock box. Scott Bowman. I can't remember his last name now. But all the audio comes into the bottom, then it just distributes out through the Q series RCAs and go into the amplifiers.
Nice plug for the Q series RCAs. Kudos. One of the guys just a little bit ago asked a question. I said, "Bulletproof glass?" ?
Yes. I can go grab a piece, but on that truck between the front and the back, there were two little there's a door, but I haven't figured out that. There's two little windows, and I took them out because I'm gonna use the space for like fuse blocks. That I'm like, hey, use it up so it's not wasted. But the glass we pulled out, it's tempered glass, and it's laminated tempered glass, and it's like an inch and a quarter thick.
Wow, that's heavy.
Yes, very heavy. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it yet, but I'm going to do something special for sure.
Now, something that I've done on an install just for fun is I actually sandblasted, made a sandblast and I etched a piece of glass with sandblasting, and it's cool because it actually digs in deeper the wider the area that you're sandblasting. So
right.
It's kind of fun to work with glass, and that's kind of the fun thing about audio is we get to use so many different materials and so many different techniques, and never be afraid to try something. I mean, that's what comes up with really cool things. So, all right. So here's another close-up of those shotgun shells, and tell me what we have on the side. I know you've told me already, but tell me what you got going on here for fuse blocks. You and I had quite the discussion on that, if I remember right.
Yep. So these are Glow fuses, Glow Industries or whatnot, but they're the fiberglass fuses. But I built these fuse blocks out of acrylic. So we have our laser and we cut everything up, different layers to try to sandwich everything in. But then we laser etched the Warhorse logo and the pattern. You can't see me because you don't have to see the seats, but we custom upholstered our seats, and that pattern is what we use in the seats too to try to keep it continuous throughout the build.
Yep, keep the theme going. Absolutely.
Now, the thing that you've got there, you may have looked over. I messaged you that my little nitpick was on your amplifiers on the driver's side. All the amplifiers have the logos that are actually engraved, but they're not on the passenger side, and that would just look like a blank. So I made a jig, put it in our laser, and then etched all the logos across.
Yep, that's great. And once again, we appreciate you doing that. And our engineers don't always think of everything. That's why we got you guys, but we always take tips and hints and suggestions. So too cool. I know eventually there we are. I knew we were eventually going to get to inside pictures of this thing, and you got to tell us what's going on here because this is crazy.
So this is the second version. Originally, I was firing all the speakers backwards, but then my outside rep kind of gave me an idea. I'm like, you know what? We're afraid of not hearing it outside the truck. So we decided to pivot and make all the speakers fire out. There are 30 KMXL 8s there.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and each Warhorse is driving 4 of them. So they're going to get 250 watts of power each.
And they absolutely love that type of power. And I love that type of power. Here's another one of your builds. I love just real
that same
quickly.
truck.
Yep, I love the way you did the power wire on the roof with the little mounts. Just like I say, sleek
3D
and
printed.
cool. So real quickly before I let you go and we move on to Bill, what are you thinking in the future? What's behind the scenes coming up that these guys need to watch out for that you got? Are you burnt out and taking a break?
I might take a break. I didn't have the wagon finished And then I bought that truck. I'm like, oh God, I have another month left in this car. So I'm just looking forward to the finish line on this truck.
Well, fantastic. Well, I really appreciate taking time, Andy, coming to talk with us and showing off your work. And, more than anything else, we appreciate your support. You're part of the Kicker family, as all you guys are. And, we can't do it without you guys. I always say it because it is true. It takes everybody. And, you guys got such creative minds, and there's no way we can keep up with doing some of this stuff. So it's nice that you guys are out, just touting the Kicker flag for us. So thanks again, Andy. I appreciate it, and I'm sure I will see you again soon at an event or somewhere. Or, maybe we'll drag you back here to the plant sometime.
Well, that's my goal. So once the truck is done, I want to take it and maybe the wagon to Kicker. I'd like to show Steve.
I'd love to have you bring them up here. We're always down for that. And we've been actually doing a few more events around here. Maybe when we do that, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen again. The SQ at HQ, if we end up doing that again, because the first one went over so well, maybe we can invite you up for that one.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Hey,
I'm
Midnight
sure our
Munchies.
neighbors will love it.
Oh, right. Midnight Munchies. Our website's overkillcustomstn.com. All our socials the same: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all the above, YouTube.
Keeps it easy. Well, Andy, keep up the good work. Like I say, look forward to seeing pictures and chatting with you as you go. So you go get some well-deserved rest, and we're going to move on because we can talk forever, but there just isn't enough time.
All right, you guys have a good night.
You too. Thanks again. All right, Andy from Overkill Customs, man, those guys do some absolutely amazing work. And, there's a lot of people in this country, and like I say, this is just kind of the start of what we're going to do. So if you guys want to be featured, make sure you send us an email to social@kicker.com. Say, hey, this is what I do, and hey, I want to be a guest on the show. We'd love to feature some of your builds. So like I say, it could be you on the big screen, not just us. So, all right, so I think it's time to bring good old Bill on. Bill, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good, I'm glad. You are another one of those guys that just some of the work that you do. But give us a little background. Tell us what all you have going on, because I know you're a busy guy and got a lot of projects in the fire.
So at work, at Spare Time Fab is where I work. We're swamped with work right now. Personally, I have my Gladiator that I've been working on. That's pretty much wrapped up for right now until we do another rendition, possibly in the bed. Have a couple go-karts that we're working on, and just got done doing a Power Wheels for Opus Marketing to give away down at Ocean City Jeep Fest.
Nice.
So that's something that we just got done.
Now, didn't you build the little truck and trailer that we had that Jamie was running around with? Was that you that did that? Okay.
No, not
Because
that
I know
one.
someone did a little remote control truck for Jamie at Opus Marketing, and ended up Jeremy was playing with that at some of our events.
Yeah, we'll have one there this year as well. So.
Oh, fantastic. Well, tell us what Spare Time Fab is. I mean, that's your bread and butter, but tell us what all you do in that line of work.
Sure. So Randy Martin, he started it back in 2016. He used to drive truck. He didn't think his interior was cool enough, so he started doing interior panels on his truck. Word got around. Here we are 9 years later in a 7,500 square foot building, 10 employees, just going nuts. So
anything worth doing is worth overdoing.
Yeah.
But, when the word gets around, when you do good work and, fair value, people want to get stuff done. I mean, it's all about doing the custom work. I mean, you don't see people lining up for just the boring everyday, head unit and 4 speakers anymore. The serious shops that are getting down with it are doing cool build like yours. And we're going to jump. I know I've got a bunch of pictures of stuff that you sent us, and I actually trimmed them down a little bit, and we still got a ton. So we might go through these kind of quick. Otherwise, we're going to be here till 9:30, and I know Ernie has expressed his desire to be out of here long before that. So, but he knows I like to talk, right, Ernie? Yeah, he said, yeah, shut up, hurry up, go on. All right, so Ernie, I'm going to have you go ahead and bring up the first picture, and we will go from there. This is actually pretty cool. I love the use of materials. Alligator skin, real, fake, 3D printed. Tell us what you got going on there.
So that is a brand new Kenworth. We did the KICKER three-way components in each door. They are backlit. They're just not lit in that picture. It is fake gator, not real gator. A good customer of ours. He wanted something different. He wanted gator, so we gave him gator.
There you go. A customer's always right, especially when they got the check to pay for it. And I think the next picture shows a little bit of the backlighting with the grill in place.
Correct.
And actually, see all 4 doors, it looks like.
All 4 doors have a set of three-way components in a door, which if you ever put down a window in a Kenworth doors, there's not much room in there.
No, there's not. That's the nice thing about those KS speakers being so shallow. But, now that I see this picture and I look at it, Kenworth what? 4-door Kenworth?
So that was from what I believe, or what I remember, if I remember correctly, was a fire truck that the guy had converted into a big truck. So we primarily do tractor trailers, big rigs. So Peterbilt, Kenworth, Mack, anything big rig is primarily what we do.
Yeah.
So we do full interiors, stereos. We gut them to the bones and then redo everything inside we do.
See, you guys really have some heavy duty power tools to do all that when you start talking, big trucks but yeah, that's actually really cool. And like I say, it doesn't sound like there's much that you guys don't do. Which brings up the question, is there anything that you don't do that you're thinking about starting to do?
So
or do you do it all?
So we have a CNC sewing machine and a CNC router table that we have now in-house. So we're trying to do as much as we can in-house with the embroidery. We have an embroidery machine as well. So we can embroider on seats and that kind of stuff. Looking for more plug and play stuff in the big rig industry. So we fabricate some speaker adapters to fit a 5 1/4 where a 4x6 would go, and make it directly plug in.
Well, I do know from some of the trucks that I've been in, those guys, when they're building these big trucks, they really don't seem too concerned with good audio in those from the factory.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand that, because look how many miles and how many hours you're in these vehicles.
There's a lot of 4x6 speakers in these trucks.
Yes, there are. In fact, OSU has got a tractor that they pull all the football team stuff around in, and we went and looked at that, and it's like, that is the crappiest little 4x6 in the sleeper, and just 2 of those, and that was it. It's like, no, can't have that.
Yep.
All right, so this obviously is the same truck, and the reason I asked about that, because I wouldn't be surprised if you 3D printed the alligator anymore with the way these 3D printers work.
That's one thing we have not got involved in yet, but
I say it all the time. I really wish I would have more time and could get into the 3D printing and the CNC, but I got plenty going on right now to keep me busy. That's for darn sure.
Yes.
All right. So there's a close-up of the CX amplifiers. Now, I noticed that the end caps are a little different. What'd you do with those?
So they do come off, and it's pretty easy to pull them off, and just a little bit of paint goes a long way, ties everything together.
I agree, and that's why I brought that up, because a lot of people don't think to do the little things like that, and that's what puts you over the top.
I love little things like that.
And even when Andy was talking about re-etching the logos on the amplifiers with the laser, it's cool stuff like that the basic shops just don't think about. But what a cool interior! Now, did you do all the stitching on the interior in that truck?
Yes, we have a guy that does all our seats and all that stuff in house. And even so, if you look at the center console, like the grain of the gator, it all
lines up.
So it
right
all
down
lines
the center,
up,
and it continues. So that's absolutely great. And that's a good upholstery guy when you can start lining stuff like that up. It takes a real skilled hand. And is this one of the trucks that we're going to see pictures of? I do believe.
Yes, that is a truck that we did 2 years ago now. That has a pretty insane sound system as well as interior in.
Well,
as well as a lot of horsepower as well.
Yeah, a lot of torque.
Yes.
For those of you guys that don't know, if you ever get a chance to go to a Great American Truck Show, which is basically it's a show for the big rigs like that. I've been fortunate enough to go to a couple of those. The ingenuity, the work, and the money that's spent on some of these trucks is absolutely crazy. We were
sure.
talking about it earlier at Slamology. There's a guy that's got a semi that is, it's all JL product, but that thing is unbelievable. I think he had like 18, W13s under the trailer on that thing. It was crazy.
Yeah.
He had eight of those inside the sleeper, 4 in the top and 4 in the bottom. But yeah, it's all about creativity and doing stuff, that people haven't seen. And this has got to be the interior.
That's correct.
Now, kind of funny you mentioned it because we were talking about this earlier before the show, talking about lining up all those buttons and I said, bet you guys have got one of the CNC, sewing machines out there because, lining all that up and getting it so perfect. It's really tough to do with just chalk and a marker.
So we used to mark them out by hand and punch them by hand, and they're all sewn with machine, but
yeah,
we sew everything in-house. We make everything in-house. We do all our button tuck right in-house.
See, that's great. And I love the way that, it's just the inside of these vehicles are so cool. You got so much room. You can be so creative. And once again, tying in the end caps of the amplifiers and the speaker grills, it makes a huge difference, and it really ties everything together. And the fact that they're all painted to match the buttons.
Yeah.
All those little details. And of course, are those 15s or 12s?
12s. There's 4 12s in that truck.
Yep, vented. I'm sure that's plenty for that little cabin. I bet that'll keep him awake going down the road. When he's forced to be off the clock, I suppose he's sitting in the parking lot jamming, like giving everybody else a show. And here's another close-up view.
The other side.
I believe that's
the other side.
Mm-hmm. So, too cool. All right, computer. A little bank of the amplifiers from the side. How much power do you have in this thing? And there's a lot of CX amplifiers, I see.
Yeah, there's 3 CXA 360.4s and then 2 of the 1800s.
Nice. So 1 per pair of woofers, I assume. All right.
So big trucks are typically 12-volt wiring. So
I just got yelled at. Bone Skull 420's got another question. Dumb question, but is it different wiring up to big rig as to a normal vehicle as far as needing power converters, or it's just normal 12-volt wiring? Looks like some good stuff. And yeah, that is a great question. Go ahead and give them the answer.
So they are 12-volt. Typically, most trucks will have 4 or 8 batteries, but it is a standard 12-volt system.
I know in the past, like some of the military vehicles, they run off of 24 volts.
Yeah.
And that gets to be a challenge doing a big system in those because you can't just tap off one battery. But yeah, it's all about the current, capability, putting all those batteries in parallel to get
Correct.
that, Cummins or whatever to turn over. You need a lot of current. So that's why you start off with a big bank of batteries. And, in those vehicles, you can add, several more batteries and the truck won't even notice it for weight.
Yeah.
Everything else that's going on.
Yeah.
So what do we got overhead as we're looking down the road?
There's 2 sets of the KS 6.5-inch components, and then the KMC5 media center. And then we're running the slave unit in the side door so he can actually control everything from outside the truck as well, so you don't have to climb in all the time.
Yeah, that would be a real pain. It's just like working on a boat, in and out all the time. The less you can do that, the better on your knees, especially as you get older. But that's great that you use one of our media centers and, you've got that capability to use that remote in the back. But just beautiful work. And like I say, the button and tuck on the headliner, just absolutely gorgeous work on this thing. So we're going to keep going here because I know we got a bunch of cool pictures. And like I say, don't want to keep everybody all night. This is kind of the stuff you see at those Great American Truck Shows. That's a triple axle.
It's a heavy haul,
So do you know what that truck was designed for? Or?
So he trucks that thing. They haul big earth movers, that kind of stuff. So they're all big, heavy haul with that customer there. So, but it is a beautiful truck.
Yeah, and the detail work on some of these, just every single millimeter is absolutely spotless. So this has got to be the inside of that one, I hope, with all the red.
That is the inside of that with a Solo X in there. Nice,
vented. And I love the LED accents. It's kind of focused in the middle, but it's laser sharp. And that's tough to do sometimes with lighting. So that looks absolutely killer. I love it.
Thank you.
And here's another shot on the side. I can't quite make out what we're seeing.
There's a war horse running, 2 war horse amps in there. Hey.
Hang on.
in the closet there. There's 2 Warhorse amps, a 3600 and a 1000.4. So
it's got plenty of power to boot.
yeah.
All right, let's get on. Now we're going to go to your hobby side, your Jeeps.
Yeah. So that's my wife's Jeep. So
You have a lucky wife.
yeah.
Or she's a lucky wife.
She wanted something different. So on a weekend, me and a couple of buddies, we got this thing together for her and put it together. So
too cool.
they're her favorite colors.
Yep. Oh, I definitely like that sky blue. That's always been a neat color. Snazzy girl on the license plate. Too cool.
Yeah.
So
It's great
all
when I
right,
drive it.
So it's at Jeep Week, Ocean
So
City.
that's a Jeep Fest, yes, in Ocean City, Maryland. So
Ocean
we're in
City,
the
that's
kicker
close.
booth down there. Yeah.
So I knew that all the guys were talking about your vehicles. I unfortunately have not been to that show. Maybe one of these years I'll get a chance to go up and hang out with you guys. That's got to be you and the lucky woman herself.
That's me and my wife Melissa. Yes.
So proud owner of her Jeep.
Yep.
And now let's get to yours.
That's my nutty system. Yeah.
And that is about as green as you can get.
It's definitely hard to hide.
Yeah. So we got 2 Solo X12s or 15s in there.
15s.
15s, and then of course the cans.
Fourth order blow through.
Man, and I like the way you did the cans on the side.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
in the
so
bed, the bed is its own system. I think I have 20. I have like 30 speakers total. 32 if you count the sound bars. So I have a
there
sound
room
bar
for
in
you in
front
there?
and rear.
That's just too crazy. Absolutely love it. There's the pair side by side, and I don't know why the computer keeps resizing the pictures on me. There's a great picture of your Jeep with the green on the grill, the pinstripe. It's just, the thing is just amazing, and the right light and the right event. I mean, you always keep this thing spotless, and it's great that you allow us to use your vehicle at our events like this.
I'm honored to be in your booth. So
Yep.
I love showing
Here's another
them.
one. And like I say, now you get a little overhead shot of what this thing really looks like. I just absolutely love that thing. It's just, it's green's never been my favorite color, but I could drive that. I could drive that a lot because it's so just, out there in your face. I love it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. The wheel's bronze.
So yeah, I had the wheels and the bumpers powder coated bronze. It's called whiskey bronze.
I like it already. But yeah, that looks great. That is just absolutely a perfect color to complement the green on the outside.
There are a little bit of accents I have. So that's in a wheel well. That's a inner fender liner.
Now, did you make that or did you just...
I had someone make it for me. So
Okay, because I didn't think I'd ever seen anything like this. That's why I wanted to put this picture up there. And it's all those little things, and people don't always think about it. You may have the shiniest, prettiest vehicle in the world, but I know even we had a 99 Chevy truck, and it's kind of funny. It's in our museum right now. Travis actually bought this thing from one of our dealers and fixed it all up, brought it back home to us after we did it at 99. But I had the same deal with that one. It was jacked up on 35s, and you could literally see above the frame and under the bed right through the truck.
right.
And it looked awful. I mean, the truck was, had $32,000 paint job on it, then this awful gap. So we had to take some ABS and make some inner, fender wells for it. And I know on a lot of the new trucks, you can buy those as options because they're still ugly. But it's all the little things that you guys do that really sets these vehicles, over the top. And a great view of the interior. Now, what is that material on the interior?
So it is a vinyl. It's a Carrera. That color is called Carrera Tan, even though it's more brown. But it looks very much like leather. It's very soft like leather.
Well, it's just got such an interesting texture, and once again, it's unique materials and just the way you put everything together.
Yeah.
All right, right down the center console. What do we got here? As if I didn't know.
So they're 2 Warhorse 3600s, one per Solo X15.
Jeez, that's a lot of power.
And then actually in the back, so the back seats are actually front seats from a Gladiator that I took off the headrest.
Well, that's unique.
When you tilt that seat forward, there's a Warhorse 1000.4 in the back of the back seat, like any side. So
I don't think I have a picture of that because
no, I don't. It's hard to get a picture of that.
yeah, that's actually really cool.
That's the
And
back of my white Jeep. So.
Yep. And once again, that sky blue or teal, whatever you want to call it, just
Yep.
that little trim around the amplifier. And I noticed you mounted the control center too and did the same thing. And the
Yes.
stitching, I mean, it's the details. I mean, that looks so clean.
Thank you.
You know, and like I said, I'm sure it was a challenge running all the wires to that amplifier on the tailgate, getting them bent.
2-0 gauge, a bunch of RCA speaker wires.
Yep.
To make it fold back and forth with the tailgate is very,
Yeah,
very
and not
difficult.
bunch up and tear some other stuff up.
Yep. I had a good friend,
Very
Dave,
cool.
help me out with that, and he did a great job as always. So.
Well, yep. Thanks for doing that, Dave. All right. And here again, this is one of our new grills.
Yes.
So this, I'll give you credit. Appreciate it, Bill, that this is the first time I've actually seen one of our new grills in the field,
Nice.
so to speak. So
And that is the
absolutely-
that is the new comp. What is the comp CVT?
okay, the new CVT, yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know that woofer's actually been in our lineup since I think '99. So we've been doing shallow woofers for a long time, but it's definitely taken an upgrade. You know, more than double the power handling now and output. But cool woofers. So for a shallow mount, they do an amazing job. Plug, plug, plug. And this is the picture I was talking about. That just when you get the right light, that thing just it's absolutely just electrifying.
Yeah. It
And
looks good
the
when it's
bronze
clean.
in the wheels it's such a compliment to that color. You wouldn't think so. It's like we're going to take this lime fluorescent green. We're going to put bronze wheels. And you're like, what? And you do it. And it's like, oh yeah, that works.
Yeah. No, it definitely pops. That's for sure.
Yeah, I bet it does your ears as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's loud.
All right, here's another view of the back of that. And of course, those actually are marine square grills on those woofers.
Yes.
But once
they're
again,
the
everything-
they're the L7Rs.
Everything
or the
tailored to
thin,
match.
the T's. I mean, so
Yeah, the thin mount. Yep.
yeah,
That L7T is one of my favorite woofers for the money.
and they're all
All right,
PXA wires there. So
Shot of the other door. Was this? I think that was that same truck. I think
that's a
was
different. That's actually a different truck. So that one there,
It is, okay.
I did 4 comp 15s into that truck.
And looks like it's vented. Actually,
No.
is this the same vehicle?
That's a different vehicle.
Yep. See, I told you, I just pulled a bunch of pictures off.
Yeah.
Just to, and I absolutely love the Gold Series. I use those in my office, where I do my editing on the videos, and that's where I go decompress and just listen to music with all the lights off, 2-channel music.
Yeah.
Like nobody ever does anymore, unfortunately. Lot of CX power on that back wall.
Yes.
And then let's get ready for all the speakers in it. Like I say, I'm kind of jumping here quickly. We don't run too late. Here's the finished product. Obviously, the KS speakers on the side. And
Yes, sir.
here again, I love the blue buttons on that. That is just such a neat, subtle touch.
He wanted to be loud, so
Yep, and he's definitely got it up front. Now, this is something that I'm going to ask because I don't know. I mean, obviously, I know what this is. What is in the center here?
so they are fans with.
Okay.
We make little fan covers for the fans, so you don't have to see them all the time. So we make little covers for them.
That's why I didn't know what they were. I've never seen them covered up before. I'm thinking that almost look like, spotlights,
Yeah.
like the old KC daylighters. And
There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, just everything ties together so perfectly. And these guys, I'm sure, appreciate it because they pretty much live in these trucks.
Yes.
But another touch there with the screws on the woofers being gold.
Yeah.
Just it's all the simple things out there that it's so cool to see the creativity and what you guys are doing. Of course, you got the port there keeping the fuses cool, right? So
Yeah.
that was
That's important.
yeah. Midnight's got another question. He said, "What area is his shop out of again? I don't remember it being said." I think I forgot to ask you where your shop was.
So we are in a small town called Myerstown, Pennsylvania. We're outside of Hershey, Lebanon, Pennsylvania area. So
You got a website in case anybody's trying to reach you?
the website and all the socials are all Spare Time Fab. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or the website is sparetimefab.com.
All the usual stuff.
Yep.
Well, fantastic. Well, Bill, I really appreciate you being on the show tonight, and thanks for letting us showcase some of your work. And as always, I'm sure we'll be reaching out if we're up in your area and need vehicles for an event, because those things are absolutely showstoppers. And
Awesome.
for you and your wife both to be up there with it, it's a family event. I love it. So how cool is that? So before we let him go, Colin, do we have any questions for Bill? Specifically, I know Munchie's just had one, but were there any other questions for any of the guys? Apparently not. I see dead silence on the screen. Stu, there you are, Stu. How's it going? I figured you'd be out there somewhere. And it says, how many people work at that shop? It would take me 10 years to build that by myself. I agree, but you also do some pretty amazing stuff too, and we'll hope to get you on the show soon. Yeah, how many employees do you have up there?
So there's 10 there's 10 employees at the shop right now. When we do, so those trucks that we showcase there, so I'll do that truck primarily by myself, and it'll be 2 or 3 months while we're doing other stuff. Yeah.
But once again, the focus, the attention, the detail is just amazing. And, obviously I don't have any doubt that you're going to keep doing it. So, as you get more cool things, send us pictures, because we always love to showcase stuff like that.
Will do.
And thank you again, Bill, for being on the show, and thanks for lending your vehicle to some of our events out there on the East Coast. And maybe one of these days I'll get to one of the Jeep events and get to see the other side of life out there, the Jeep life. So
I told
thanks
my wife,
again.
I told my wife we need to make a road trip out to Stillwater. So
well, you're always welcome.
Thank you.
Get a hold of me. I mean, if it's on a weekend, if I'm around, we'll take care of you. We'll give you the full tour and give you the Kicker warm, happy greeting, open arms.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, you go have a good Tuesday evening. We're going to wrap it up with a few of our usual things that we like to do and give away some stuff. So thanks again, both Andy and Bill, for showcasing your vehicles, allowing us to present them to everybody. And, you just got one challenge now. Now you got to outdo it, and we'll bring you back.
Yeah. Next year.
Yeah. I'll give you a little bit of a break. All right. Well, thanks, Bill. And like I say, you're welcome to hang out for a while and watch the rest of it. Or if you need to go, I know you probably, from the looks of it, you got plenty of projects to work on and keep you busy. So thank you for being on the show. And thank you again, Andy, both of you guys. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, and hope you guys have enjoyed the little dealer showcase that we've done here. So now let's get on to the usual things. We might actually get out of here close to 8:30. Might actually be somewhat on time. So we're going to start, let's go ahead and start with this. We're going to start with viewer questions. And it was interesting that I was able to pull 2 questions from one viewer, actually from the website, and that's support@kicker.com. So if you guys have some questions and we don't answer them on the show, just remember support@kicker.com. Those guys will usually answer you, the next day if it's after hours. But first question, I'm not sure how to interpret the question, as it could be taken several different ways. It says, how do you tell what the crossover is on a speaker? So there's actually 3 parts to that. Are you wondering what the actual crossover components look like, the capacitors and coils, or are you wondering what is the crossover on a speaker? You're wondering about the crossover frequency. So crossover frequency, you could tell there's actually a lot of formulas on the site. You could actually put in all the values of the components, and there's different sites that would give you the crossover slope. The real easiest way is you could basically hook it up to an RTA and measure the slope and the frequency, and then you'll know exactly what the crossover slope is. But I guess the last thing is, talk about the different types of crossovers. A 6 dB, 12 dB, 18, 24, and they always go in factors of 6. So a 6 dB per octave crossover in a tweeter is just a capacitor in series with the speaker, and that's usually capacitors like a little barrel, and sometimes they got wire coming in each end, sometimes they got wires coming in both sides, but it's usually 2 wires connection like a little round barrel. Some of them are kind of oblong shaped, just depends on what the brand is, but that's a 6 dB per octave crossover on a tweeter. A 6 dB crossover in a mid-range is just a coil of wire, so pretty simple. Now, to go up to a 12 dB per octave crossover to get the slope to be even steeper, more of a roll-off, you would add a coil to the capacitor on the tweeter. So if you got 2 components on the tweeter, that's going to be 12 dB. And you add a capacitor to the coil on the mid-range. It's kind of backwards. You kind of flip-flopping in what you're doing. And then here again, you go up to an 18 dB per octave crossover on the tweeter. Now you've got cap, coil, cap. And if you go to the mid-range, you got coil, cap, coil. And once again, I bet you can guess what's going to happen if we do a 24 dB per octave passive crossover. On the tweeter, you're going to have cap, coil, cap, coil, cap, coil. Now I'm getting confused. Too many things. You're going to have a cap and a coil, cap. Yes. So I'm actually looking at it backwards in my mind, but I'm saying it forwards. So same thing on a mid-range. You're going to start off with a capacitor, coil, capacitor, and then a coil. So that's how you can tell. You got 4 components. You got a fourth order crossover, 24 dB per octave. 3 components, going to be 18 dB per octave, or a third order. 2 components, going to be 12 dB octave, or a second order. And just a cap or a coil on speaker is going to be a 6 dB per octave crossover. So his next question is, what is the difference between active and passive crossovers? And this is, it's actually pretty simple. I mean, to narrow it down, an active crossover is a component that has to have 12 volts to make it work. So that'd be like a crossover that's outside an amplifier, that's between the head unit and the amplifier. That would be an active crossover. Now, most amplifiers have some type of active crossover built in, but an active crossover requires power to make it operate. A passive crossover would be just like we talked about with the caps and coils. Now, it is interesting to note that you could have a passive crossover that's mounted between the amplifier and the source unit. In fact, there used to be a company called F-Mods. That was just basically an RCA inline filter. It didn't require power. It was passive, but it did go between the amplifier and the head unit. So cool question. Like I say, many different parts to that answer. The last question is actually a little more serious, and it's one of those questions that we see quite a bit. And it's like, can I run a smaller ground wire to my amplifier since it's going to be a shorter wire and there's going to be less resistive loss? And the answer is absolutely not. You want to make sure you use the same gauge wire for power and ground. You always want to use good oxygen-free wire, not CCA, copper-clad aluminum. You literally, if it required 4 gauge of pure copper, it's going to take 1/0 of copper-clad aluminum to get almost the same conductivity and not even quite the same. So, and it's just, like I say, it's bigger wire, and here again, you're going to balance out that cost. So just run better wire up front. Any system is only as good as the weakest link. So great questions, you guys. And if you have any, support at kicker.com, or like I say, I think it's social at kicker.com. If you want to reach us directly here at the social site. So cool stuff. So I think it's time to go to some fail pictures before we give stuff away. I'm going to keep zipping through my laptop here. It keeps going to sleep if you want to. I keep messing with the laptop. Apparently my sleep setting is set at a rather short time. So that is interesting. Go ahead and pull this one up. And this is actually one that Ernie sent me. And once again, if any of these are your pictures, like I say, it's okay. But this is interesting because what you're actually looking at on the front of the speaker is actually the mounting template from the rear that holds the grill on. So yeah, always read the instructions when you're putting the speakers on. And these little tabs, and this isn't one of our adapters. This is actually another company's adapter that they sell. But these little tabs here are to center a 6.5 inch, and you break those tabs out if you have a 6 3/4 inch. But the way this is set up now, the surround is actually going to hit those, and it's going to cause noise. So unfortunately, that is going to be a fail. Here again, proper wiring. I've never seen this before. Yeah, let's go ahead and run the wires in the fender well, and let's just tape them up with electrical tape. No, that's definitely not acceptable. Not acceptable at all. And I know the next time we come, I've got a bunch more fails, and apparently for some reason they didn't load into that file, but I know we're running a little late on time here, so let's go right into the cool install pics. We've got a few of those, and then we're going to go right on to the giveaways, and then turn you guys all loose. All right, Pro Audio Center. Our friend Jimmy Ham, I believe this is one of his installs. And here again, that teal or sky blue, what a neat look. And the way the crossovers are mounted. So you've got the crossovers. This is the QSC, the coax crossover, and this is the QSS, the component crossover in the Q series. But nicely done. And if you notice, this nice little shape on this panel, it's the little things that give these panels the creativity and the just precision look. So, I mean, everything doesn't have to be straight lines and stacked. In fact, that starts looking, kind of not so elegant when you start doing that. But this is absolutely beautiful. In fact, here's the other side. Like I say, you can't do one side without the other. Same use of materials and same design, same theme. And the fact that you see that, the way the little cover of this amplifier rack, it actually steps around the woofer. And just a simple little 45 on there, but nice vented enclosure, nice lighting. Of course, that Q-Class L7 subwoofer. So great install per Audio Center. And here again, we talk about doing some unique things. We've got some of the LX amplifiers mounted. Obviously, you've got a vent here. It's going to be a truck, obviously. But nice little pod here for, it looks like a couple 8s and a couple tweeters. But here again, it's not just the same round or square enclosure. It's got a little bit of contour to it. And like I say, don't be afraid to try some new stuff and do something a little different. This is another vehicle. This is actually one of Shaq's vehicles. And Ernie, I think you told me what it was, but what? It's a Hummer. So this is a Hummer, and yes, Shaq likes his Solo X woofers too. You got a big man, you need big bass. So he did it right, and like I say, the interior on this thing is absolutely gorgeous. But 3 Solo X woofers in the back of that. It's a little, the Shaq, the S logo, the Super Shaq logo. So fantastic, bunch of cool installs. So we had a good show tonight. We had a lot of fun, looking at some of the installs from a couple of our really good dealers and friends. And also, like I say, hope we got some questions answered. Guys, make sure you tune in next week, not next week, in 2 weeks, because we're going to do another show, and we always have fun doing this. That doesn't mean that, nothing's going to go on in between. Andy will not be doing a show tonight. He's going to take a little bit of a break. He's had a really fun time on vacation. He's got to catch up on a few things, so he will not be doing a show tonight, but he will be doing his show next week, so that's still going to be happening. So along with that, I think I pretty much covered everything, but it's time for some giveaways. Actually, I forgot one thing since I'm looking at my notes. We got a couple events coming up. Obviously, Sturgis is coming up, the big Harley up in the Dakotas. So don't forget Sturgis. We have the American Flat Track, Arena Cross, and like I say, on all 3 of those events, Sturgis, American Flat Track, and Arena Cross, we will have booths set up. So there will be Kicker staff up there. You can come up and say hi, meet and greet, and see a bunch of cool things. So make sure you get out and see some of the Kicker crew out at these events. And Colin, let's go for a 3rd place prize winner. Who do we got for tonight? That's John M. from Delaware. Me? I'm not from, no wait, it's got to be a different John M. from Delaware. So you're going to win the TW1 headphones, the gray Kicker Unmasked t-shirt, and the koozie. So congratulations. Watch for an email from Colin. You need your name, your address. Got to have a phone number for shipping, and it must be an actual address, not a P.O. box. And, of course, your shirt size. It's always important, so we get you the size that you need. 2nd place, or the first runner-up, is going to be Dustin W. from Michigan. Same thing, Dustin. You're going to get the TW1s, which have the little silicone earbuds. Both of those little earbuds sound fantastic. In fact, I alternate back and forth when I'm bike riding which ones I use. I don't know why. I decided to change them up a little bit and listen to both of them. They both sound great, and they both have their, strong points that make them, the ones to use, so to speak. So you're going to get the koozie and the T-shirt as well. So appreciate it, Dustin. Like I say, watch for that email from Colin. And the grand prize winner, final thing of the night, and actually I just see Brian Gary's up there. Brian, thanks for tuning in. Hope you're having a good night as well. Our final winner tonight is going to be Thomas M. from Rhode Island. I think that's the first person from Rhode Island that's won. So great. Congratulations on that. And you're going to get the koozie. You're going to get the T-shirt, and don't forget, you're going to get the Bluetooth speaker, the little BF100. That little Bullfrog speaker sounds great. Like I said, it's completely waterproof. Throw it in a pool, lake, or whatever you want to do. So congratulations to all our winners. Thanks again to our guests for tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. We can't do it without you guys, so we appreciate you tuning in and sending suggestions. If you got anything you want to see on the show, let us know. We're always out to do what you want to do, and anything you want tested, any configuration or whatever, we're here to help, and we're always looking for good content. Send your pictures in, social@kicker.com, of your installs. We would love to focus on those installs. And also, if you guys come across some pretty unique fails, send them to us as well. It's always fun. And hey, if you're really brave, send your own in, because, we've all done some fails now and then, and it takes a strong person to admit it. But yes, we all make mistakes. But We just have fun with it and learn. That's all we can do. So guys, thanks for tuning in. 2 weeks from tonight, we're going to do it again, 7:30 Central Time. And hope you guys enjoyed the show, and get ready in 2 weeks for another fantastic show. Thanks again from Stillwater, Oklahoma, and all the guys here in the studio. We appreciate you. Have a good night.
Wires twist like veins of steel, born to crush, born to feel. Lightning runs through every chord, power surge, the final word.